Durex or Plan B? They're both on the same lines.
What?
Durex or Plan B?
Oh,
Pick.
That's a tough one. Let's see. One is a manufacturer of condoms. The other is what happens when Plan A doesn't work.
Are you 486?
Yes, I am 486.
Plan B.
So I will take Plan B.
Are you 486?
I am 486.
That's the name of. That's the legal name of the
86?
drug. Are you 486?
I thought it was called Plan B. I get the joke. Is that the total name? I thought
That's
Are you for? Are you for
No.
or against 86? Are you for or against 86?
My mind is just blown because that does make sense, but this is a legal writing of the
Right?
name, and I wonder if they did that on purpose or by accident. Oh, I gotta know
Figured it
now.
out.
I gotta know now. Are you for?
86?
Oh,
Right? That's what I thought. I was like, yes, I am
486. I love it. Oh,
Is
yeah.
86 not that? No,
You broke
that's...
the lead on my pencil.
Woo! Got excited there.
No, that was interesting.
We just figured it out.
I'm gonna have to do it. Also, great Stone
So
Sour song.
the technical name is Are You
486?
486.
Yeah. Technical name. This might be a slight variation on the original formula for Are You 486, but Plan B or Durex?
Plan B? I'm always a Plan B fan. I do not like the condoms.
Plan B.
I usually
B
spike
pill.
her drink beforehand.
I'm not editing that out,
And then
and I'm not putting
not
the
with
pedal
any
bear
date
mask
rape
on your
drugs,
face.
just with the Plan B pill, just in case. Cause
I
I don't want to ruin her life.
Oh, preventative maintenance.
Anyway, let's hear about this Plan B birth control pill,
All right,
which
well,
apparently is now available to girls of any age.
Not
At least
any
in
age,
certain
though.
states.
Not any age, though,
Or
because
any age in some states.
there may be some basis for that, but the any age thing is typically coming down to 15.
15,
now.
which is ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah, well,
What's the legal age of adulthood?
It used to be that you could get this at 17 without parental consent, but that you were required a prescription. And now they're realizing that a lot of people probably haven't been taking it when they were wanting to take it because they didn't want to go to their doctor and have that
Or
show
how
up
about
on
your
mommy
fucking
and daddy's
parents?
insurance if they didn't want their parents to know. I'm going to edit so much of this out because you're just putting in unnecessary time of things that I have to render and upload. This show's going to be almost me talking over the stories and then cutting out your rebuttal and then just pasting those
It's
together.
a double-edged sword, and we'll get to the rest of the story, but the birth control issue in general with age of consent is a double-edged sword. Because on the one hand, you had all the old-timers crying and whining about how in the good old days you just had to deal with it. And if you didn't work, if you didn't pull out, then you had a baby and you had to raise it and you had to tell your mommy and daddy.
Unnecessary time.
And I hate you so much. Everybody loves the old man voice, right?
No,
Yeah?
it doesn't translate well into the microphone. It could just be the way you're doing it.
It's
too.
definitely possible. And so you had to live with it. You had to live with the baby.
So basically,
Right?
what you're doing is mocking a sense of personal responsibility when you're using that old person's
I
voice.
am,
like that.
but I'm also saying that they had a valid point in the responsibility for your actions.
Yeah.
The problem is that wasn't always a good idea for said baby. And then you get into the whole thing with the difference between abortion and birth control pills, whether they're morning after or regular.
Right. Well, morning
there's
after,
a big difference. Even
Yeah.
the morning after pill still doesn't work with anything that's done. It prevents it from happening. Well, I guess it depends on which particular pill too, because some of them work by preventing the process from ever happening, and some of them kill the egg once it's already in there. At the same time, women have been murdering eggs since time immemorial. Every time they have their period, so it gets in that weird dichotomy. I prefer.
I don't even touch with that one just because that's part of a natural cycle and doesn't have anything to do with an action that's taken.
It's true.
An egg is an egg is an egg. I eat chicken eggs. I don't eat fertilized chicken eggs.
Hey-o.
I mean, there's arguments to be made there. See, I don't even take that one into.
Tastes the same. Throw a sperm in there and then throw it on the grill. You're not going to notice the difference.
You will if you crack it open. There's a little baby clucking inside there.
After 1 second,
then you're like, man, this is awesome. I get to eat a bird. I get to have a chicken and not an egg for breakfast. This is great.
If I inject sperm into an egg,
what you do on your own time,
then
not really
immediately
my thing.
crack it and eat it. Are you telling me that it's going to magically become a baby chick?
Depends.
The process has started,
fertilized?
but it started for 3 minutes. It hasn't started for 3 months.
Or did the egg just have fun?
Hey-o. This guy. That's my point.
Those are some of the things.
At a certain point, you have to say, and I think most logical people would agree with me on this, that once you get into pregnancy and carrying a baby inside of you, you're dealing with a baby of some sort. When you're dealing with an egg that has just recently been fertilized, I think that's the important place to make the distinction if you're dealing with something like a morning after
Here's
pill.
my thing is I just don't care. It has nothing to do with this particular pill or story. It's a whole different debacle and debate.
It's all one big giant.
Not in this particular. The closest thing you can
What's
do
the
is
story about?
the closest
Tell
thing
me,
you
Grandpa
can do.
Caleb.
The
What
very
the
closest
story
thing
is
you
about.
can do is try and tie it into an age of responsibility, which is just taking a really long train to
That's
get
where I was
to.
going with it.
It's taking a
If
really
it's a
long
pill
train to get to the
that
age of
prevents you from getting pregnant,
responsibility.
you can get birth control, regular birth control.
Yes.
If you get a prescription.
Starting at age 11.
Yes.
By going
That's
to
my
the doctor
point.
with your mom.
Right.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And you can get this birth control pill at age 11, or this Plan B
Morning
pill
after
at age
pill.
11
Yes.
with a prescription from
Yes.
going to your family doctor.
Yes.
The thing that is
They
interesting
want to
with
remove the parental requirements. That is the end game for this, is that they want children to be able to abort their baby
without
or
having to
take a morning pill
involve their
without having to
parents
involve their
in the
parents.
decision.
As you've noticed that. It's been
Yeah.
happening more and more. It used to be that it was 18 for everything, and now you can get an abortion at 16 with parental consent, and then now you can get the birth control at whatever age with parental
Still doesn't
consent.
fix it.
Pretty soon it's going to be no parental consent required for anything. And I'm saying that is a problem.
Well, that's
The
taking the
parental
problem
consent-
to the exact opposite end of the spectrum.
The parental consent was a good compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to be the politician that says we shouldn't allow the morning after pill because it's abortion. You don't even want to be. I don't even want to be a politician who says that federally that this country is not allowed to do abortion if they want to do it, because I'm not the majority and that's not how a republic works. I think the states should decide that issue on a state-to-state basis, whether they want to allow it or not, to keep it as localized as possible. That, however, is another debate. But when you get into the pills, it gets really iffy. And I don't think... I'm losing my mind right now.
I can tell, which is like
Just getting
trying
lost.
to steer you back on topic every now and again.
Do you know what I was saying?
You just get all offended when I do it. So I
just
kind of
don't-
want to
I
let you
lost-
hang now.
I lost it. That's okay. I'll figure it out in the point. Anyway,
But the biggest focal point of this story is
parental consent was a good compromise.
Well, parental consent was a good compromise, but the thing that's the biggest focal point to me in this story is that, and the only reason I put it on the docket today, the abortion argument notwithstanding, at what period is a fertilized egg an embryo, a baby, whatever, a life? Okay. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care.
He doesn't care what either.
Everybody's got an opinion. You're entitled to yours. If you come and tell me your opinion is right and I don't agree with it, I'll let you know why and make you feel stupid for having it. I can do that. That's okay. Same thing with parental consent. It's a whole mess of a topic. What's actually, and parental consent is minorly tied into this point, but what was actually really interesting about this is that the department, basically the FDA, the specific committee dealing with Plan B and looking at moving it from 17 to to whatever age limit they needed to choose, there's major conflicts within the department right now because there are researchers that are telling this chair of this department that lady, you know that you can get pregnant at 11, right? And that it statistically happens actually not nearly as rarely as we would like. And this lady is looking at it going, yes, but 17 and over the counter is still a really good age. So the department itself is actually in its own little bit of a compromise right now, in that this doctor is saying 11 is too young to be able to get something without a parent. Even though the product is on the shelf, but you still have to be able to show some proof that you're 15 to get it. There has to be something there. So you might have to dig up a copy of your birth certificate, explain to your mom why you need it, to bring it in and take a look at it at the pharmacy.
Whatever happened to just having your parents buy it for you?
Well, see that, why would you have your parents buy it for you if you're buying it because you didn't want to go to the doctor? They're putting it at these age limits and putting it over the counter so that
the parents don't have
you
to know.
don't have to know. You don't have to go get a doctor visit for the
fools.
prescription. That's why your parents aren't going to buy it for you. That's why the department is having...
Well, then your life sucks, and you probably should have been responsible.
You're just... Pick a topic, get there. You're missing the entire point.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm missing what you're trying to say.
No, you're missing the entire point.
I understand that they can't decide whether
so
it should be 11 or
sleepy.
17.
You're
I'm
so
saying, why are we
sleepy.
debating this? Make it 11 with parental consent until 18. Done. Damn.
Well, now
See you guys later.
That is the first sensible thing I've heard all day.
That's what I was trying to get to, was if you're
But see-
11 years old and
but
you
see-
get pregnant, you tell your parents, and your parents are like,
But
oh, you
see,
have to have the baby.
You're one of those...
Tough shit, you're a minor. If you got cancer and they were like, you have to go to chemo,
Well, now,
you would have to go to chemo.
No, now, see, there we get into the other side of the issue, if you want to go on that side of things, though. If you are a minor and you make the decision that you want to keep the baby, despite the fact that it's under your parental support, if you make that opinion voiced and known, you can't be told that you have to take a medication. You can't be brought in to have a procedure done. Legally, the child or fertilized egg or whatever, again, give me your opinion, I'll tell you whether or not you're right or wrong. Regardless of what, I'm speaking in generics because of that, if you have deemed that to be the case, then both you and the child are a protected class that are then still pushed on the
parents. It's interesting the way it works.
Which is why
Standard.
these little controversies within the departments and things like that, the fact that the governing bodies that are supposed to be the ones giving the answers, which is why they make the adjustments to these age limits and stuff, they're just as lost as anybody else, because now they're putting it and saying, well, I guess from the ages of 11 to 14, your parents have a lot of say in it. And
All of a
whether or
sudden
not
at
you
15
can keep
they
it and deal
don't.
with things. And at 15, we're going to let it be called a gray area, and at 18, it's your decision. So it seems like everybody's just trying to give everybody options that won't step on anybody's toes. Nobody can just make a hardline release and stamp it, say you're not an adult until you hit the age of 18. But then again, like I said, you run into that other issue on that other side of things. So it's all this big revolving argument. I just like seeing that because the reason I mention this at all is because you don't usually see the transparency that goes on behind the governing bodies on that side.